hey, there's a guy face down in gravel and the ambulance is out there. They had to run and go situate that.
The fastest way to make your wedding beautiful is to add flowers, but it's not about just adding them. I'm here with Afton from Fern and Curl. Tell us about the design, floral design. What does that process look like?
So for me, I try to really go on the unique side of things, and I guess organic is what I get called a lot. So I'm not your traditional florist. I'm not your roundy moundy florist or anything like that. We're going to have a flow of everything because I come from an art brain.
Yes, they're so unique. Like I can see it. I can just see a picture of it, and then I know that's Afton. That's Fern and Curl design.
Which is always so funny to me because people will say that I have no idea, but people will tell me all the time, like, I know that you made that. I'm like, ah, cool.
Yeah. You play with a lot more colors than just the brightest, pinkest, or whitest. You play with the whole palette. So tell me about that. You have some unique weddings and kind of how you put those together and work with your couples on that.
I just recently did one where it was very dark, very moody, so very darkest purples I could get. I spray painted things black, plums, burgundies, and stuff like that. And then the following weekend, though, we go on the complete opposite spectrum and go tropicals. And it was oranges and greens and like a tan neutral brown and stuff. So there's like, you can really use the whole color palette, even light pinks, light blues, and like violet and stuff. That's not really normal colors that I see.
What should people be considering? What should they be asking when they think, they need to contract with a florist?
So I feel like personality is always a big thing because, if you're dealing with a stick in the mud, then what's that going to be like on wedding day? So I'm very much so myself in all aspects of the business, from when you send me a questionnaire on my website. And I often tell my brides too to interact with me on Instagram to make sure that we are vibing together, that I'm getting to know you a little bit better, you're getting to know me a little bit better. But then the design process itself, like, do you like my organic style and stuff? I've had brides tell me specifically, I want roundy money. You got to tell me that, because otherwise I'm going to make it organic or something. So just looking at what do I provide versus what does somebody else provide? You want to make sure you have the right fit.
Yeah, some styles are different. That's with a lot of different businesses, right? A lot of different industries for your day.
Yeah.
Afton, you have been in the wedding industry for a long time, not just here in Brevard, but all over the state of Florida. And, you're involved much more heavily before the day starts. Sometimes you have to be there at the end of the day to pick things up. But lots of crazy things can happen. Tell us a little bit, what has happened? What kind of sticks out in your mind?
So because I do weddings outside of Florida, I went to Savannah to do a wedding, actually for my tattoo artist. So I got tattooed by her, then she got engaged and then was like, do my wedding. I was like, absolutely. I go there, I'm like, oh, let me be smart, let me meal prep. I got like taco stuff. Messed me up for the entire weekend. I was curled up in a ball. I still had to make all the flowers and everything. I set up the wedding, still feeling like absolute crap. I was on all fours, just taking a second to just like, and then I hear, are you okay? I popped right back up and just started going. There was another time too where a guy ended up getting alcohol poisoning and fell face first into gravel. And I was the one to alert the venue, hey, there's a guy face down in gravel and the ambulance is out there. And they had to run and go situate that.
Having professionals who can handle and solve these problems is the most important thing to have a happy, joyful day. And for us, when we're taking photo and video, that's the main thing we want. The bride and groom to be happy and joyful, because that's hard to fix in post. So solving the problems, getting things done is really important. Tell me a little bit about budgeting. Flowers can be very expensive, and I know they've gone up as everything has, but flowers have gone up by a lot. What are some ways that you work with brides to manage their budget and make sure they still have an amazing day?
So one of my questions on my questionnaire is, what is your budget? And I put in parentheses because it turned into a thing where people are like, I don't know. I'm like, I need to know this so I know what kind of flowers that I'm working with. So also season really depends on things. So spring season, there's a plethora of flowers. One of the main ones being peony that's available, and it's pricey. Also seasons like Valentine's Day or Mother's Day, if your wedding is anywhere in that time frame, that's going to affect things too. But taking into consideration, if you don't have a bridal party, that's magical for me because we're not making 7-8 girls worth things to carry. you can actually take that money that you would use for the bridal party, which can add up very quickly depending on how many people you have, and take that to the reception or put more emphasis in the ceremony or something like that. If you're getting married at a church where you can't really decorate, well, then all that money can go to the reception or to your bridal party and having big bougie things or something along those lines. Repurposing is also another thing that we try to emphasize on, because a lot of people will be like, well, what about the sweetheart table? Well, actually, your arch arrangements can be reused for your sweetheart table. Sometimes the aisle pieces, if they're like big and chunky, we can reuse those for the reception table or something. Your bridesmaids bouquets too, we can also use those for the tables and everything. There's a lot of reusing that can happen with florals.
Wow, that's really creative and a great way to kind of keep that budget as tight as possible and still make it an amazing day. So Afton, thank you for coming today. How can people reach you and get in touch with Fern and Curl?
I'm all over the social medias, on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook. It's all Fern and Curl Designs.